Alright guys, this is going to be my tutorial on the game that I have made so far. I have decided to call it Mission Impossible because, well, I like people to think it's impossible. It makes it sound a little harder. So here's the board I have so far. And if you look at it, it's pretty simple. It's just a 20 by 20 grid, basically, with 4 corners and a few stars throughout the board. So, if you look at it carefully, you'll notice I have 2 pieces in each corner right now. So basically I'm going to run through this game as if there are 2 people going and go over a few basic strategy things. So, if you go, the objective of the game is to get the piece in the opposite corner of your piece to the opposite corner of the board before your opponent does. So I've illustrated that there in this picture. So if I am this blue player right here, basically I want to get my piece all the way over to the screen corner before he does, and we're going to go over how exactly the other person is trying to stop you and how exactly this is going to become challenging. So, how to play. So, the first thing that you do is each player is going to be given 5 bombs that they can place wherever they want to on the board, except for the 3 spaces adjacent to where they start. The objective is to basically place these strategically so it is difficult for your opponent to reach their corner. And then I noted here a hint: you may want to place the bombs around the stars on the board because you will be required to cross at least 5 stars. So as I get more in the rules, I'll describe this more. But as you notice, there are a few different stars on the board. As I was playing this prototype originally, I realized as you just roll the die and start to move your piece, it's a little difficult, or sorry, it's too easy to get across the board. It goes by really quick, and I was having games that were over in like 2 minutes. So what I did was I placed various stars on the board and made a requirement that you have to cross at least 5 of these stars before you go. So for example, if I were to roll a few different things that made it so I could move like this, I could say, let's say I got a 6, I might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the next turn I got another 6, I might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and such until I've crossed at least 5 of these. So I've done 3, so let's say I've crossed these 2. Then at this point I can keep going until I get my piece to the corner. Take a pretty direct route. I will mention this more as I go more specifically over the rules, but in this game you can move anyway, so you can move diagonally, left, right, up, down, but there will be some constraints to that I will mention in just a moment, actually right now. So each player will be given 5 bombs at the beginning. Basically what these are something you can't cross, because if you land on a bomb, you would die. So I think that the most strategic thing to do is place them around stars that you would think your opponent would go to first. So if I'm starting here, of course, one of the first places that I would go is straight. Now, I made it in the rules that you can't block these 3. So I might put the bomb right around it, because I know that, oh, he's going to want to go to this star first to, as his first star, because he has to cross 5 and it's right there. But then the next closest one might be these 2 over here. So if I place it here, that makes it more difficult because he has to take a longer route around it, somewhat. So I would strategically place some, maybe I might place 1 there, and then like a whole bunch over here, because this might be the next closest, and then 1 over here, so that the closest ones and probably the most direct route are kind of blocked. And this will make it a little bit more difficult and give your opponent a few more choices they have to make. The other opponent also has some, So I'm just going to kind of place these randomly for now. So once they're all placed like that, then you're ready to begin the game. So how to start? Basically, the first player will roll the die, and they will move as many places as they get. And then the second player will do the same thing. So it's quite simple. You just roll the die and move the amount of pieces. But then there's the rules that make it more difficult. So first of all, each player must land on at least 5 of the stars before they reach the coin. So I mentioned that you have to cross at least 5 stars before you can go to the opposite corner. If you roll a 3, then you earn another bomb that you can place anywhere on the board. So let's say my piece is right here and I roll a 3. Then at this point, my opponent, at this point, say my opponent is right here and I roll a 3. I might want to place this bomb right here, or say they're right there. I might want to place it right here so that they have to go like this, around me to get to it. Just like that. If they were right there, they'd have to go around. So, strategic placement of these bombs is quite important in this game. If your opponent manages to place the bombs in a way that completely block you, so let's say I am right here and my opponent had 4 there, or all 5 bombs around me, and then they earned 1 more and they put it right there. Obviously I'm blocked in. So what you have to do is you have to keep, every time you roll something other than a 3, you lose your turn. Because you have to basically earn another bomb that you can use to basically bomb one of their bombs so that you're free again. So that's one way that you can really trap your opponent. The last thing I mentioned is that if there are 4 players, then to kind of keep it moving a little bit more, you only have to cross 3 of the stars before you can go to your opponent, or before you can go to the opposite corner. So now I am going to demonstrate some gameplay. I'm just going to move some of these around. Alright, so say I roll -6. So I'll start and I'll go 1, 2, actually, sorry. I might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then my opponent will go. They got a 1, so they most likely will move right onto the star in front. Then I roll. I got a 1, so I will go 1 forward like that, and this keeps going. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So notice at this point I've already crossed 3 of the stars, so I only have to cross 2 more before I can start heading over towards that green corner. One thing I should note is I probably should have put these like this, because then I would have had to go all the way around to get to these, which means I probably would have gone this way to the ones that they didn't block. That's something that a beginner player might not notice and might slow them down and give their opponent a little edge up. So just an example of why these are important. 2, 3. Alright, so I placed a 3. So that means I earn another bomb that I can place anywhere on the board. So right now I see my opponent is really close to that star. You can't place them on the stars, you can place them near them. So I don't actually have too much choice over here because of how they place their own bombs. So I might put this here, or no, right here, because they're probably going to want to go to this spot next. So after they go to this spot, they'd probably start taking a diagonal route because it's the fastest way to get over here. So if I place that there, that blocks that and makes it so they have to go this way, which is slightly longer. Won't slow them down too much, but yes. So then I can go ahead and move 2, 3. One, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So I rolled a 3 again. So this is another point where I see where my opponent is going, and I say, oh, they're trying to land on this star. So I might place this right here, so they have to take a longer route. 2, 1, 2. At this point, I have gone past 5 stars, so I can take the most direct route. So I'm just trying to get to that corner over there. So if I roll, say, 2 6s, then I'm pretty sure. Yeah, then I'd essentially win. So that would be a point where my opponent would have to realize that, and if they earn any bombs, they want to place them around there and try to block me. 1. Of course I roll this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not doing this on purpose. I seem to just be rolling 1s and 6s. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. Aha. So this could not have been a better time to roll that. So actually, I take that back. You can go diagonal in this game, so there's really no way at this point that my opponent could block me, because I can just go diagonally in. If I was 1 space back, then I might want to put this right here. It will slow my opponent down. If say they roll a 1, it'll take them 1 more turn. But because I was right there, it was actually kind of useless either way, because now I rolled a 6, so I would win. So that's how the game is played. So some things to keep in mind to wrap it up really quick. You want to pay attention to where your opponent's going and how they're trying to get there. If you see, say, my opponent is coming across and I see they're heading towards these stars so they can fulfill that requirement, then I'm going to want to try, if I roll a 3, to place bombs in their way to block them, so it takes them longer, so they have to go around. I realize that right now it's still pretty simple and basic, so I'm trying to think of a few more things to add to kind of work out the kinks in this prototype. But if you have any ideas, it's awesome. So far, it is, a step forward to have a basic design game that works. If you have any questions, just let me know.